Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I congratulate my right honourable friend, the Chancellor, for his autumn statement, which was well thought through, soundly based and properly reasoned. Post-COVID, with war in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, and with the ongoing cost of living crisis, his task is an incredibly difficult one. He has quite rightly recognised the need to boost growth with 110 growth measures, but as he has stressed, this growth must be secured on sound foundations and must not take the form of a reckless, debt-fuelled rush for growth. There are areas of reform which I believe that he should have covered, such as on business rates, social care funding and special educational needs, but this autumn statement is very much a step in the right direction and provides a platform on which he and the government can build in the coming weeks and months. Mr Deputy Speaker, I shall briefly cover three areas. Firstly, investment in skills. My right honourable friend, the Chancellor, recognises the importance of investment in skills so as to improve productivity and to secure sustainable economic growth. In this respect, the announcement of £50 million to increase the number of apprenticeships in key growth areas is to be welcomed. However, there remains a need for a long-term strategy to enhance skills, and in this respect, I look forward to an update on the work of Sir Michael Barber, which was announced in last year's autumn statement, also a significant uplift in revenue funding for further education colleges and training providers, and a review of the apprenticeship levy, which was a welcome initiative when it was introduced in 2017, but is in need of reform so that it can perform to its full potential. Secondly, Mr Deputy Speaker, we need to continue to protect the most vulnerable. COVID's tale has been harsh and long, and along with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, has created a cost of living crisis that we have not seen for 100 years. Last year and this year, the government have stepped up to the plate to support people, and thus many of last week's announcements are to be welcomed, including the increase in the national living wage, the increase in all working age benefits in full by 6.7%, boosting pensions by 8.5% in line with the triple lock, and significantly, Mr Deputy Speaker, increasing the local housing allowance. There is no doubt, Mr Deputy Speaker, that in the UK at present there is both a skills shortage and a skills mismatch. It is in this context that I am supportive of the Back to Work plan, which my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State, went through earlier. However, I do emphasise two notes of caution. Firstly, the deficit in investment in skills and training, which has been prevalent for most of this century, means that there are a lot of people a long way from the workplace, and we should not underestimate the challenge of equipping them with the skills that they need to first hold down jobs and then embark on rewarding career paths. Secondly, Mr Deputy Speaker, there are people, for instance, with deteriorating neurological conditions who are very worried about the forthcoming review of the work capability assessment. We must do all that we can to support them through what will be a period of upheaval and to ensure that we avoid situations where those who are palpably unable to work are asked to do so under the threat of sanction. My concerns have been allayed to a large degree by what my right honourable friend has said at his opening speech, but it is important to emphasise the point. Thirdly, Mr Deputy Speaker, in the east of England, particularly along the Suffolk and Norfolk coasts, there is enormous potential for long-term rewarding jobs in the low-carbon energy sector. And it is in this context that the various announcements last week to promote the renewable sector are very welcome. What I would emphasise, Mr Deputy Speaker, is that to make the most of this great opportunity, it is vital that as the government implements its levelling up agenda, that the East is not overlooked. In his speech, my right honourable friend the Chancellor announced some new investment zones to follow on from those that were revealed in the autumn statement. None of these were in the east of England. In Lowestoft and Great Yarmouth, we have a successful enterprise zone, and I would hope that we could look at reinvigorating it. My final point, Mr Deputy Speaker, on the need for levelling up in the east of England is that we are the lowest lying region in the UK, and we have a long and porous coastline. This means that we are particularly vulnerable to flooding, and coastal erosion, which is being accelerated by climate change. In recent days, many homes have disappeared over the cliff in Pakefield in my constituency, and this has brought despair and desperation to many. Moreover, it creates risks from dangerous cliffs and the exposure of World War II sweeper markers, which have been detonated earlier today. Thanks are due to the emergency services for all that they're doing, working in appalling conditions to keep people safe. But right up and down the Norfolk and Suffolk coast, there are communities at severe risk, not only in Pakefield, but all along that coast. And what we must do over the course of the next few weeks is to look very, very closely at the coastal protection budget and its operation. And I would urge my honourable friend the Chancellor to liaise very closely with the right honourable member for the South East Cambridgeshire, who is getting up to speed with his new and challenging brief at DEFRA. Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker.
Senator Sharma.